Hello, welcome. It's Wendy here, doing these podcasts on losing friends. I wanted to do this podcast fairly early in the piece because I feel it might be affecting a lot of you in your friendships, and you probably aren't aware of it or are aware of it. And I want to talk about narcissists. So I think that there are a lot of narcissists around, and that people are very selfish too. It comes with narcissism. I want you to start having a look at some of the narcissistic traits. You can Google it. And you might find that some of the friends who've come in are actually narcissists and you didn't recognise them. Now, at the beginning, they are hard to recognise. They come in, you meet them, they're charming, bubbly, very social, make a lot of contact with you, answer all your texts, very attentive actually. At the beginning of the relationship, you'll find they're really attentive, trying to do stuff for you. They sort of win you by being so charming. And you'll find that you get into the relationship quite quickly. You meet them and it's like bang, 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 and you're best friends before you know it. These kind of relationships can be good and not narcissistic, but often it's indicative of narcissistic relationships. At first, it will be good. At first, it'll be good, and you'll be doing everything together and going to movies and having nights, eating pizza together, whatever. However, over time, it starts to be a change, and the person you actually first met maybe isn't reacting in the same way. But narcissists are very attracted to people who we call empaths, and empaths are people who are very kind and giving. So the narcissist takes and the empath gives. And you might start to notice that you're giving a little bit more in time in the relationship. They might be messing you around, not turning up, always being late, because the narcissist is all about me, and me. They're the three people in their lives, and it's all about what's best for them. Now, there will be times where they'll do things for other people because it's actually best for them. So there's actually a motive always behind it. And after you've been friends with these people for a while, you'll find that they twist everything so it ends up that you're driving and can't drink, or it's always at your place that you're eating, or when you go to the restaurant, they haven't got their wallet. You'll find there's a lot of things that start adding up with a narcissistic relationship. Narcissists also tend to lack compassion for other people. They have a false compassion, but you can't really feel it. You feel like it's kind of fake. Trouble with a narcissist is when you first meet them, you start being with the outside person, but that's not the real person. That's the charming outside. Then when you get more into the relationship and the friendship, you start to hit the core person, who they really are, and some of the mask falls off as you're going along, and you don't know why. Like, why is it different? Why am I feeling different? They will also push you across over there if they have a better offer. So, for example, if they're supposed to come over and you're going to do something together, but someone else who is better offer comes, they will actually just dump you and go with them. They're terrible friends. Narcissists are terrible friends. The first part's pretty cute, but that doesn't last very long once they've got you in the relationship. And it's all about them. It's not really about you. And you will feel that they don't care after you've been with them for a while. They don't actually care about how you feel. So they often say hurtful things, inappropriate things, passive aggressive things, and you sort of like push it aside. But after a while, you start to realise that they actually don't really care about you. They only care about themselves, and everything is their world. They live in this bubble of myself. I feel that these relationships will be very hard for you to maintain, and they will often leave you if there's a better person or deal. Because if they look over there and there's something better, you will just be dumped. And it's not your fault. It's just that a narcissist will always go to the place that's got the best meal, or the people who've got the most status or more money. So they will often just break the friendship off or just stop investing in you. That's not your fault. If it's the reverse and you're with them, you might decide that this isn't a really healthy relationship for you after a while, and you might end it or minimise it. It takes a while to work out you're with a narcissistic friend. That's why I'm doing this podcast, because it's not obvious at the very beginning. It only after a bit of time. And don't blame yourself for that, because they came in pretending like they were orange and then you got to know that they were actually purple. So it's not your fault that you were misled. People are supposed to trust other people first. That's really how it goes. Supposed to trust people and trust their word. Narcissists will also lie, and you won't find that out straight at the beginning. It'll come later. I find narcissists are really bad liars. Like, some of their lies are like, you expect me to believe that? I just found their lying was really bad, but they will lie and they will blame shift stuff onto you. So if you start to want to deal with a problem in the relationship or something, they will actually turn it back on you and blame you and actually kind of attack you. You'll find they'll do that. There's some gaslighting goes on there. You can Google all about that. I just think they're really, really bad friends because there's so much self-interest and you'll just get what's left over, basically. That's what happens. Narcissistic friendships, pretty hard to maintain. The only way you maintain them is that you just do what they want all the time. And you can do that if you want to, but at least know what's going on here. I find the selfishness the greatest thing with the narcissist, that they're so selfish. It's like they don't care about your life really, unless it's going to impact on them, and they will only do things that further their own cause or, further their own bread. That's how I see narcissists. They're not true people either, because when you go out with them, if you're in a relationship with them now as a friend and you go out with them, they might be completely different. You might find them quite different if you put them in a new crowd or another crowd. This other person sort of turns up, the one you met at the beginning, but you're not dealing with that all the time. Be careful with them. They will make your life quite a misery unless you either manage it or get out. And I think that narcissistic friends are common because, of course, there's so much of the population who are narcissistic. So you're not going to miss them, are you? You're going to get a few here and there. But if you are an empath and a really caring, kind person who does things for other people, you will attract them. It's almost like the black and the white, and you will attract each other to each other, the negative and the positive, because they want somebody who gives to them, who makes them the centre of their world. The way I explained it to somebody, I was trying to talk to them about it, and I said, when they're in a relationship with me, they come first, but when I'm in a relationship with them, they come first. It's like they come first twice, if that makes any sense. Normally in a relationship with someone, they should come first. You put their needs first quite a lot of the time, and then they put your needs, but it doesn't work like that with the narcissist. Never does. I want you to have a look at it and see if you've got narcissistic friends, and if you're losing friends, maybe you're attracting narcissists without even realising it. It takes a while to get to know them, that's all. So don't be hard on yourselves, because at the beginning they do look pretty cool and they're pretty nice to be with and everything. And they can be really interesting and lots of fun and all those things. But just remember, they will always come first and you will always come last. And that's the thing to understand. Now, whether you want to be with them or not becomes your issue. They will also become, they can become quite nasty if you actually stand up to them and or set aside and don't want to be with them and or break off the friendship. They can be quite nasty, and they will actually tell stories about you out there that aren't particularly true because they're really good at lying. So that's my podcast for today. It's up to you whether you be with a narcissist, but you need to manage them as well. That's the thing, in the sense that you have to know what you're dealing with, and don't do anything or give away your money or your time if you don't want to. With a narcissist, you have to put yourself first because they won't. And that's what I found out. It was my biggest lesson that I learned this life. Put yourself first, and then you can still do things for them, but do not put them first because you'll come undone. So that's my talk today on losing friends. And I think losing a narcissist isn't such a bad thing sometimes. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Sending you lots of love.